What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Spectator Mode Podcast, the internet's greatest gaming podcast you've ever heard of. I am your host, Keith Mitchell. Don't call it a lie, because I'm not lying. And joining with me are two of my buddies from the Outerhaven. We got Scotty Tuhati.
Howdy, hope you all stay warm.
And Matthew.
Wow, just Matthew.
Just
Matthew.
Just
never
Matt.
call me. Just Matt. Yeah. Never call me. Yeah, never call me Get Silliest, but you know how it is.
Well, I did Scott first this time, so now you go last.
I see how it is. The betrayal has happened already.
Oh, it's been in planning for years. You just never knew it.
Yeah,
it was me all along. You didn't know it.
Deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, as always, we like to talk about the games we played at the beginning of this podcast, and I'm going to go first because I've been playing the Stay Alive game because I've been sick thanks to Mother Nature. I don't like being sick. I don't like it. My body's been freezing, and I think I'm almost at the end of this game. We'll find out next week.
You'll find out.
I'm done.
That is all you've been doing, man. Oof. So I guess I'll talk what I've been doing lately. So I've recently been doing what I've been like a personal quest is I've been playing Crazy Taxi and I've been trying to get S rank and both the original track on the original map and the arcade map. I only did original and S rank, just using only arcade rules. I'm not gonna do 3 minutes, 5 minutes, just arcade rules. And I've been grinding it. I'm getting A's and B's consistently in arcade mode with the arcade rules. I'm getting better at it. I recently had a chance to re-download 2 games that had massive updates to them, Beneath Orisa and Wild Frost, and both these card roguelikes are still not my percent good card roguelikes I enjoy. I think Beneath Orisa is slightly better, but it's like both these card roguelikes have disappointed me last year, and I was hoping, okay, it's been like a couple of months. It's been some time. Let's see if they get better. They haven't. They haven't gotten better. I mean, one's gotten better than the other, but not enough. I meant to ask you.
I have to cut you off. What version of Crazy Taxi are you playing?
I'm playing the Steam edition of Crazy Taxi, the one that's available on Steam.
Does that have the music?
No, it has a different music. They removed the they removed the that track isn't there. There's a mod I can put in there, but they have not that. It's the same game.
I really wish that this whole music licensing thing did not exist for games, because I hate playing the game and I remember how it was originally, and I played it again and it was like, this music is not the same.
100%. That bothers me so much. And speaking of musical changes, I had to get used to the hearing the winning theme remixed too much for playing a lot of Granblue Fantasy Relink. I have grinded so much I have unlocked Siegfried's alternate armor, so Siegfried Vane's Rise, we stand it together. I've also played a little bit of Death Must Die. I play Tiny Rogues. It's on the YouTube page. You can check it out. It's a really fun roguelike, probably my favorite bullet hell roguelike so far. I've also played some Final Fantasy 14 online because apparently there's a new DLC Dawn Trial coming up in like 6 months. So I got to finish like 2 or 3 story modes and whatnot. So I'm just trying to finish Stormblood and everything. So, that's happening. And then one of my favorite arena shooters, Deadlink, came out with some brand new content. I think I showed it off to Scott that I just curb stomped the crap out of it. There is a survival horde mode, and I got to like wave 70 with engineer and wave 80 plus, I believe it's 86 with the Juggernaut. It's a really, really fun arena mode. I cannot recommend Deadlink. I think out of all the arena shooters that I've played and owned, which are like RoboQuest, Battle Shapers, and Deadlink, I enjoy Deadlink the most, then RoboQuest, because you could play with people with RoboQuest at least, and then Battle Shapers the least. Obviously, I'm hoping those games like Battle Shapers get a little more balance or whatever, but I just hate how those bosses work. But other than that is what I have been kind of up to. I've just been and taking a break from some gaming due to some other things happening.
Well, I mean, that's what happens. On my end, I've been playing a lot of the Granblue Fantasy Relink Demo. I've also been doing one of my replays of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Oh, and I also started the Eternights game. I found a really cheap
nice.
copy at GameStop, so I decided to buy it because it's also physical. Which I'm just not far enough into Turn Ice to really have too much of an opinion on it. Looks nice so far, though.
Yeah. I think you've also had a chance to play some this amazing demo of all time, the Taku's Ogre demo. I'm just kidding.
I didn't know they had a demo out. No.
I didn't know that. Oh god. But yeah, I guess all the games we played so far. Let's get into I guess the first topic that most of you guys have played, or I haven't had a chance to play in certain situations, the Granblue Fantasy Relink Demo. I've only played the game at PAX. I've flown out 3,000 miles to play that game. That was a big deal for me. But I could not play it recently due to some things popping up. If you want to know, just check out my Twitter. You'll see why. But yeah, how did you guys enjoy the demo?
I personally loved it. I also was at PAX West when we got to try it out. And I loved playing the game, and there's a lot of characters you could choose, which the demo also has a lot of characters you can choose from as well. They had 11 of what is seen to be, there's going to be about 20 playable characters when the base game launches, with some more characters on the horizon that they want to release in expansion sets, with 2 of them in the second one. And so, anyways, the actual demo itself, I thought there's going to be more content in general. The story mode is pretty small. The tutorial is very quick. But the quest mode is where the real everything is. So the quest mode is it's online co-op or offline co-op. Or, well, I mean, just offline in general. Is where you can play with CPU party members or you can play with people online. In case you're wondering, I'm actually kind of impressed with how they do with the CPU party members. They aren't total idiots. They actually will help you do your combos. They'll actually help you do comboing and link attacks. They'll actually utilize the union burst when they need to. So you can actually know that you can actually have people on your back if you want someone to combo with. The CPU will do that. As opposed to online where some people will just troll you. That was the worst part about randoms is you're just like, I just need to get the full union burst mode activated, and they just don't do it. Even though they have 100% of their Skybound art on.
I was just waiting for you to use your super first. Scrubs.
Scrubs. Oh my god.
I hate it.
The funny thing about it is that did the quest mode, was it similar to the demo we played at PAX?
No. So
okay,
that quest that we played at PAX is not in the demo at all.
Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic.
So it's completely new. It's funny because yeah, so the demo, if you look at our YouTube, is us fighting a bunch of undead skeletons and a bunch of giant undead skeleton army boss characters. This one's a lot more goblin oriented. You fight a lot of goblins, then you fight a bigger goblin, and then in the second quest you fight a giant monster that just is a roly-poly-oly kind of thing that just rolls around that will stop and try to attack you at times. And then the third quest is just a giant battle of you against this giant rock golem.
Nice. So the big question, we should really be asking ourselves is 2 things. The real important thing is how dumb is the AI or how smart they are, because that's a big deal. Because some people don't have friends.
It's really smart. It does a lot.
I am very impressed with how the AI was running in this game. The enemies were pretty intense when they wanted to be, and your party members, their CPU ones, actually helped you with crap. It wasn't just you doing everything with 3 onlookers like most other RPGs are nowadays.
I'll put it this way. Well, Scott had better luck than I did. I could not get a party to help me get an S++ rank on the second quest mode, but the CPU did it no problem.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds legit. That sounds about right.
Yeah, sometimes the AI is gonna be better than the randoms you find online, especially because you'll have randoms who are trolls, and they will do nothing just to troll. But to be fair, sometimes they're fun trolls, and sometimes they're just trolls who just want to make you angry.
All right, so that means that when you have this game, people, and you're not trusting online, you better have that private, cannot get into my servers unless you know me kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Another question I want to ask is how was the netcode if you guys play? Because I know that Scott, you're on the amazing side of the West Coast, and Keith's here dying on the what we call it the East Coast.
We had some issues originally trying to get everybody hooked up, and I think we figured it out.
Yeah,
it was due to the matchmaking. But other than that, once we got into an actual match or a game, it was fine.
Yeah, once you were in the quest, we had no issues. It was whenever we were in the lobbies that had some issues, and most of that was due to either matchmaking or just connections just randomly being problematic. But when you're in the quest, nothing happened that was bad.
We can't tell if it's ad hoc, meaning basically P2P, peer-to-peer, or if it's servers. But more likely, it looked like it's just going to be peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
So it's going to depend on whoever sets up the game session.
Yeah, it depends on the person's lobby, is my guess. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not in full rollback city, but all right, we'll take what we can get. That's good. That's good to know. And I would say, how much in this demo, how much access to the cast you had? I believe when we played at PAX, we had access to Charlotte, Gran, Jita, Siegfried, Rackham, my favorite guy because he hates his job.
Yeah.
And I think that was it.
No, we had access to a lot more.
There was more people in the demo than there was in the PAX. The only sad thing for me personally is we couldn't change Gran to Jita. So this
only
so Granblue Fantasy Relink is going to be using the same system that the mobile game is with Jita and Gran. You're either one or the other. You don't get to have both of them in the party, which is fine. Jita's all that matters to me.
And if you've seen the tier list for Rising, Jita is the better character. But +5 ultimate fireball, like that's pretty nutty. But I didn't balance the game. But all right, that's cool.
It was also nice to notice that when you pause the game, you can go to and look at your actual list of moves you can do, sort of like a fighting game. So you can actually see everything your character is able to do, which also shows off your combo strings and everything else. So they put a lot of work into making this game very accessible and showing people what they can do in this game.
Yeah, well, one thing that's really interesting too is that they have a spectrum of assist mode in case you aren't sure how to do combos. So like assist mode, there's like a small assist mode that helps you do like little combos or like more complex combos, but still like you're pressing the buttons. Then they have full assist mode, which is, as most people who know about assist modes, it's basically you do a little bit and then then your person just takes over everything.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll do the rest of your auto combo for you. Are you sure it's the right combo? I don't know. You're too lazy to press the button anyway. That's true.
To be honest, that kind of thing in this game seems kind of boring. Because I don't want to be just pressing the same attack button over and over and over. I want to know what my character can and cannot do given a certain situation.
Yeah, I didn't use assist mode, but that's also because I mainly used Zeta in the demo, and she is really fun to play as.
Yeah.
But you also need to do a lot of good timing because you need to press the attack button like right as you hit the person so that she can keep bouncing and attacking.
Yeah,
if you are even like a few seconds late, then
you're
falling.
Yeah, that's kind of like Zeta's thing, even in Grand Rising, where she has the ability to chain her tackle into dashes going in multiple directions and do the pogo hop. And if you don't time it right, you can botch the dash, missing the combo, or not even hit the pogo stick correctly. You're like, this will be a cross up. They block right, and you died. All right, GG's. But no, that sounds really, really fun. It's a game I'm looking forward to that comes out. Well, according to Steam, January 31st, but everyone says it's like,
it's February 1st. Steam is doing it based on, I don't even know whatever region.
Yeah, you can't really pay attention to Steam anymore because it'll be like the day before, but it's not actually. It's the day. I don't know what's going on with Steam. It's not the first game this has happened with.
No, there's been other games where it's been like, this is the date it's on, and then realize that Steam's been lying to you.
Yeah, betrayal high five.
The only downside to this game is not enough Monster Hunter. And for those who played the demo know what I mean by this. The game plays like Monster Hunter. It really plays like Monster Hunter. I said that when I played the demo before, and then Will played it. And he was like, yeah, this is just like Monster Hunter. It is. And that's not a bad thing. but there's no crossplay between the PlayStation and the PC.
Yeah, that is the big problem, is the no crossplay.
Yeah, that means when you hook up your homies, make sure you're on the correct console, which
Exactly.
will be, I would say, PC, because there'll be some funny people making some funny mods. But people like the modding, but who doesn't like the modding? This company called Capcom. They just like, woof.
Yeah.
You heard what they've been doing, guys?
Sadly,
charging a lot of money for stuff that's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean that's typical business. I mean, for as much as I love Granblue and Granblue Rising and Relink coming out, Rising has a $50 DLC for like 5 characters with crap on it. It's better to buy the characters individually. But Capcom doing something else besides charging a lot of money. They are adding DRM to their game, so you're unable to mod them for other reasons. So that's just pretty wild. I find it completely unfair. That's just wild.
It's personally, I think, really dumb. I know the reason that they say they're doing it is because they see mods as the same thing as just cheats, which is weird that you would do something to like single player games like that. Like they're doing it to like a lot of the Resident Evils, and Resident Evil Revelations was the one that was really picked up that people were concerned for, because it's just like, why are you adding like these kind of DRM to single player games that were released like 10, 20 years ago? It's just weird and wonky.
Yeah, like it's so I find it like, and I will say politely, freaking stupid, because it's like, I understand, like, from a standpoint, they're like, well, we don't like mods being in our games, don't like people modding our games, it blah 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 blah, it's bad. I understand that, but it's like, I feel like it's also a secondary thing they want to do, because one of the most recent popular games that just came out is this game called Street Fighter 6. Small independent video game.
Never heard of Street Fighter.
Yeah, no game was good until Street Fighter 6. 1 through 5 was a complete joke. I mean, to ask anybody, right? So when 6 came out, they are charging up the wazoo for the DLC clothing. Now, my theory is that because a lot of people made their mods and a lot of special mods or whatever, people could just mod their own skin they want to play the game they want, rather than just give Capcom the money. Which, not giving Capcom money is always a good decision. Always a good decision.
I'm not going to co-sign with that one, because
I know because you love your Street Fighter. I'm honestly, real talk, I'm joking. I don't mean that, but it's. Can I be honest
for a second before my voice goes out again?
Go.
I think this has happened for 2 reasons. One, Capcom doesn't like seeing people getting out under them by showing off mods that either improve the game or take away from their financial.
Anything that hinders them financially, or it allows people to like make changes to the game. What if we make drive rush costs more, so therefore you can't do it frequently? Things
also,
like that.
I think a big thing that somebody. So I'm trying to remember the exact moron who this was, but you might remember. There was a Street Fighter tournament last year, and one of the people had a new Chun-Li mod on and forgot to turn it off. And before that happened, maybe I want to say close to a year before that, Capcom came out with this brand new list of guidelines saying you can't do this, you can't do that, don't do this or properly, blah 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 blah. And we still got people doing these things.
Yeah, doing nudie mod. Yeah, they got nudie. Like, the thing is, like,
it's like you have not seen a pair of tits and ass. I don't know what to tell you, but
I mean,
I would not want to be using a plain tits ass bare nude Chun-Li in a Street Fighter game, because the designs of these costumes are freaking amazing. Give us some of these actual amazing costumes. I mean, seriously, that was just whatever. But I think that lit a fire in the Capcom's ass, and they went, you know what? We're going to stop this. But the problem I have with this is you're going back and adding this DRM into games I already purchased, and you've already stated, hey, this game does not come with any extra DRM, or you've taken off, for example, the Nouveau. Now, all of a sudden, you're adding new DRM into a game that I've already purchased without any kind of lash back on their part, which is wrong.
Yeah,
I get it. We don't own the game, but we have a license to the game. But your license doesn't say, hey, I can go back and modify this anytime. The only thing your license says is we can take this away from you at any time.
Yeah, I'm more the opposite. If you buy a game, you own it, but it's a totally different thing. But in my honest opinion, it's like depends on the setting. But I'm more upset at the idea that like they added this, and it's like for Street Fighter 6 particularly, it's like again, because let's say they make a Chun-Li pajama costume, right? Well, modder's like, I could just do that myself. I do it
exactly, and that's what I said. They don't want that. They don't want that.
Right, and it's like at the same time, it's like I feel like it's just a tight way to tighten the financial noose in certain ways. But man, it doesn't feel good. And they going back to other games and doing it because it's like there are some games. Yeah, there are some games that they have that's like from the back days or whatever that doesn't allow it. But I'm gonna say this: if you play classic Capcom fighting games or classic games, whatever Capcom, there's this thing called Fightcade. You just use that. Like, I'm sorry, just use Fightcade. Just do it. It's Fight K2, Electric Boogaloo. Just do it because it's not worth it. That's just not a good feeling to know that, like, oh, hey, let's say if I made, let's say if I, modded my game to change input buffers or remove the, you're playing some of the older fighting games that have, the flash, the screen flash. What if I just modded the game to remove the screen flash? Am I really destroying the product of your game, bro? You don't even if you don't have any options, right? I'm just deeply upset by like this is because it's like it's so weird for a monetary reason as well as like for future stuff. It's like
I'm more concerned about this than you are because this is nothing but bad news.
100%.
This is Capcom, not even Capcom, but PC gaming in general has come a long way. And now Capcom's going to go do this after they've been doing such an amazing job in terms of the PC platform. And now they're going to do this and make people go, oh, see what happens when you go play PC games? Now they can go do this to you anytime. It's like, we don't need this. No. Capcom should have thought about this and decided, or at least said, hey, maybe we're trying to curve some of these mods and we're going to do this. At least if you're going to do it, give people a heads up that you're going to do it.
Yeah, like another thing too that bothers me too is like, so another thing is, as you're aware of the ROM hack community, right? Let's say they want to make a ROM hack for a Mega Man game, whatever, that's gonna be harder, as well as like a lot of people end up making ROM hacks of like Mega Man games and then later design and making their own game through it. It's like helping people make games for future stuff, but it's like it just hurts because at the end of the day, they're locking up their property eye and key. Like, and you would think that other companies like Sega would be doing this more because Lord knows how many people made mods and ROM hacks for Sega games. But it's like, nope, it's just bad. Sega wasn't
always the Sega they are today. They were really on about that, and then something in that
they gave up on it, which is the point.
Like, you know what? It doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, do whatever. And it worked out for them. All the great Sonic games that come out because of that, it's great.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Right, but things like this is an attitude that I expect from companies that are like very fiscally conservative or like do whatever. Like I would say that Nintendo has a policy very similar to this. I know Square Enix has this policy in Final Fantasy 14 Online. Like any mod, no matter what different does, they'll get you, right? And I understand that because mods can be used for cheating for certain games. And look at WoW, look at elements of Hearthstone using Fireside Chat, whatever, right? But it's like, it hurts for Capcom because, there's a legacy of these games being around and people use mods and ROM hacks to play variant versions because still enjoy the property. It's not like they're openly selling it, right? If you could prove that somebody was making the Chun-Li pajama mod and selling it, then yeah, screw that. That's pretty bad. And I don't recommend it. It just hurts a lot. Also hurts a lot? Hearing all these things we've been hearing about Suicide Squad, Kill Justice League. Like earlier in the week, earlier last week, we heard so many like people's like takes of the game from like IGN and people associated with that, talk about the game feels uncompleted or uninspired. And these are from gaming journalists or gaming media that's more kinder than the rest of the people, okay? If they're not having a good time, I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't know about this one, man. There's been a lot of people on different sides of the fences going, this game was great. The other people saying this game was terrible. From this person saying, I didn't have a good time because it had technical issues more than anything else.
The UI looked pretty bad. So that much.
People saying I didn't have enough time to play the game. I don't know. There's just, it's everywhere right now.
There's a lot of impressions right now on Suicide Squad. And one of the biggest reasons, of course, is because everybody wanted Rocksteady to have another banger game like the Arkham series. And Suicide Squad is not in that same vein, even though it's technically still in the same, I guess, like world, which they do go into and actually like explain how it works in the world. But the thing is journalists, a lot of journalists were, well, I want to say journalists, a lot of different outlets were invited to do a preview event at WB, basically. And at WB, they were given a part of Chapter 3 in order to run through, where they had access to the town as well as like a boss fight. And a lot of people didn't like it because a lot of various reasons. And I'm not going to say that they're wrong for disliking a game or they're right, but there's also a lot of outlets who felt like that wasn't enough to actually have a gauge on if they were going to like it or not. With one of the big reasons is they don't know how the other chapters went.
Right, as well as like the frustrations from technical difficulties, everything else. There was UI issues. There wasn't enough time to play it. And to me, like, people can like, stamp around and like smoke their cigarettes or, play their plantoons or whatever. But it's more like more of the consensus, like, overall, it was not a good experience. Therefore, the game is not going to feel good to people. The issues that I've seen were like, people were saying that the boss fight they had, which is the you can probably see it on IGN's YouTube.
Yeah,
I think it was the Flash. It was uninspiring, and that's saying it mildly. Like that, it just wasn't good. And it's like, why wasn't it good? Because it felt like that horrible extraction shooter boss where he zips around, you dodge him. If he's not the location, you can't hit him, and that's frustrating gameplay because there isn't a way. At least I was reading IGN and other people saying there wasn't a way to like freeze or lock him down. Or like, oh, well, obviously, if I just trip him some banana peels, he'll slip, and I could just shoot him a couple of times, and that will be okay. It just felt like very, very unfun game design fighting a speedster. I understand what they were trying to do, but it didn't work. People were saying, "Oh, go ahead."
I wanted to interject that. So I actually got a chance to play through the alpha last month, which gave us the first 2 chapters of Suicide Squad. And the interesting thing about my experience, at least, was I initially was thinking I was going to skip this game because, first off, the live service oriented. Second off, it didn't really look good in the trailers. But as I was playing it, as I said, it gave us the first 2 chapters of the game, and it ended right before a giant boss fight. So we didn't really get to see much of how the boss fights integrated, but we got to see the Metropolis location. We got to see one really well done environmental level that gives you a really strong atmosphere of as you're trying to fight Batman, or in this case, survive Batman. You don't really fight him. He's fighting
exactly. Survive if he let you. What a great character.
But the thing is that I noticed is that you have to understand your character's abilities and builds. And I think this chapter in Chapter 3 that they're trying to do required a lot of understanding of the characters and how they played, and they didn't get enough time to do that. A lot of the outlets were saying they only had a few hours to actually play the game, and they didn't get a chance to really learn their characters, with IGN even going as far as to say that they purposely switched characters because they wanted to test other characters, but they didn't actually have builds for any of them. So It's one of those things where they didn't know how to play the game. And I don't think it's their fault. I think it's the fault of this preview. They're trying to give them like future content to try to give them a place to play the game, but without knowing how to play the game, it doesn't really give you a good idea. It's like when you play like, I don't know, a very big ARPG and you start off in the midsection where you have no idea how to actually play the game, but you are supposed to have that knowledge of how you've played the game in the previous sections.
Right. A perfect example of what you're explaining is like, so basically, shout outs to the guy, shout outs to the team of Xseed, everyone who's at the Xseed booth, y'all all nice people.
Yes.
At PAX West last year, how like they just gave us time, give us a preview of the game, how it works. It's things like that. I think the technical issues. Also, another thing too is how intuitive it feels. Again, I do feel like no insult. Gaming journalists aren't real people, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Like, they're people who play video games regardless of skill level. The fact that it took them longer to grasp it means that a normie who is not us is going to have problems too. But again, like Scott, you had a longer time to figure things out. They had less than 2 hours, or in some cases, less than an hour.
Yeah, some of them only had tech issues the whole event.
Right, exactly. So I feel like this game, like to me, like from what I saw and like the impressions of it, I feel like it started with a bad foot because they didn't want them to play more of it, which means it feels like they were trying to like, well, if we just give them a teaser content, they'll work their way through. There's nothing to tease if I can't play.
Yeah, but I think you also have to remember that these preview events are interesting in the sense that they are very scripted in how they want journalists or people to actually play the game.
Right.
If you remember, like a few years ago, we had the Redfall preview event that got very hyped and very like people were super excited about it. But it was also because it was very catered. It was very specific and very scripted that they had the best moments of the game to play, so they didn't actually know how the game itself was to feel.
Right, exactly. It was more like a vertical slice and like just gameplay what they do. Luckily, whatever, that's deceitful in my opinion how the things work. But in reality, it's like they were trying to be as open of play the game, here it is, and it's like, what am I supposed to do and figure out? Like, oh yeah, this is an extraction shooter with skill elements and team coordination, and then here's your first boss to do that. Whoa, what are you doing? this you can't just throw people to the fire. And I mean this unironically. They should have known better to play video games. That is always a case you can say, but come on, man. These are the big gaming outlets. I highly doubt these people are doing what I'm doing of, let me try to grind crazy tags to get an S rank. Let me tell you how to beat every boss in For Honor mode in Baldur's Gate with every glitch possible you could conceive. They're not doing that. No. These are people who are playing the game and absorbing the information there with little to prior knowledge of it. Therefore, they're going to need a little more hand-holding how it does, and tech issues, and I can say a little, not with pause, a little, not good administration of game people helping them is a bad situation. Remember the guy, I think it was Brian. If I forgot his name, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. You look like a Brian. You're a nice guy. At PAX,
somebody looked like a Brian.
He was a young, slender, handsome Asian man. I think his name was Brian.
Brian.
If it's not, yeah. Look, you want to call him sexy Asian man or Brian? Which one you want to say, huh? Which one is it?
This gentleman at the booth,
a sexy gentleman at the booth, named Brian in my continuity records. Anywho. Notice, like when we played with him, notice like 5 seconds he told us like which characters are hard, which characters are easy, how this playstyle is, how that playstyle is. And like, like when I say play Lancelot, it's like, yeah, Lancelot's easy. You can play him. He is straightforward. It's like, oh yeah, you know what you're doing. You can play Charlotte. Charlotte has the flight combos, and I was doing all the flight combos and dodging like a psycho, right? So it's on YouTube. You can see how I was stabbing on them haters. But it's like not having someone like that guy to help them with the game plus tech issues, it really hurts. And I think that like a lot of these game events, regardless of the hardcore gamers or the guys going to be there, you have to understand so many people come in there first time, little to no experience. You have to do some hand holding. And the fact of the lack of hand holding at this event where some of these people really hurt their content. And as well as even seeing the video content that was put on IGN and other sources, looking about how the gameplay looks and the first boss, the Flash, didn't look good. And like I said, besides the extraction shooter vibes, the UI was a bit ugly. It reminded me of it reminded me of that other game, not Outlast, like Outriders. It kind of looked like it was
Outriders, yeah.
Outside, yeah. It was simple but not good looking. So it like the game, and the thing is, from what I've heard from sources, that this was an overhaul from the alpha that Scott has played. So yeah. I think this game,
the UI looks a lot less cluttered when I was playing in the alpha than it did that, at least the previews footage that we have.
Right. So I'm thinking that they have like within 2-3 weeks, because the game comes out on like February 2nd, to like fix the UI.
It doesn't get delayed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they already launched the trailers on YouTube. I don't know, man.
It wouldn't be the first game it got delayed. There was a game that got delayed like a couple of days before it was coming out.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's not possible. It depends. It depends for now. But as of today, 2-2. I would hope for a delay. From what my understanding is for people, like I said, the fact that IGN and several game medias were pretty negative on it means a lot because those people have nothing negative to say. They're like honky dory, it's okay, 8 out of 10, and just leave it alone. There's very few games they give a high ratings that impress them because they don't play a lot of games, and I mean play a lot of games like in the intense hardcore manner. Like, for example, you think I can explain to them the moral philosophy why Lloyd's the best character of any Trails hero of all time? No, no one's going to hear that crap. He overcame his barriers. But in a very serious note, like, so when IGN says something about a game, I take it with a grain of salt, as we talked about the last episode about taking reviews with a grain of salt, because they're coming from a different place. But if they're finding frustrations, that's something to put into consideration. So I'm hoping that they fix all the issues. I hope they fix some of the gameplay. I hope that it doesn't feel like it's just zip movement, gun, pew, pew. Hope there's more to it than Extraction, and that's about it. Like I have hope the game could be better. If they delay it, my hopes goes up. But if it launches as is, as of today, 2/2/24, I would be pretty scared for them. Is that a good assessment there, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like I said, there's been a lot of people. Like I said, it's been back and forth. A lot of people are saying it's great. A lot of people are saying that it's not. I've seen some people who are very pro Gotham. Which were the people that really like the original series, and then people who played this who are like, yeah, this is okay, and other people who played the original series went, no, I don't like this. So it's one of those things where you're not going to please everybody. And unfortunately, it's going to make and or break the game.
Yeah, the bad thing is they have such a mainstream audience that it will not please everybody, no matter how much.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's
wait. And then we got the woke morons because they're going to hate the game automatically because Poison Ivy is not a girl, is not a child.
Poison Ivy's now a reincarnated child because she died in Arkham Knight. Oh no! Spoilers for a game you probably will never play.
There's a lot of
5 stars to me again.
Like, really, you're complaining about that? That's the one thing you're complaining about. You're not complaining the fact that you have to shoot Superman with guns and stop a speedster. I mean, things that you're supposed to think about in the game.
I mean, the only thing I would say is there's a carnation of like Poison Ivy where she has the power of the green, become the Green Protector. And if you're a guy who reads Swamp Thing comics, like, why is it her? That's a whole 5-hour argument for those who read comics, but it's like, I don't care. It's like, whatever. Like, the thing I was going to say is, like, it's not going to please a lot of people or like make people happy is that because the mainstream was. And I feel a little bad for Rocksteady because this project was on them. And I feel like this is like, based on how the technical things were going, this is not a game that's in their wheelhouse, what they want to make. It's like asking, and I mean this unironically, it's like asking Capcom to make a first-person shooter. That is not a good idea.
It's like asking Bethesda to make Redfall. Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. It's like asking Bethesda to make Competency, but that's a whole different thing. But yeah, it's just like, it's not happening. It's just like, it's not their wheelhouse. So it's like, I feel like I hope they can do the best they can. There's going to be people who like it or don't like it. I already know that extraction shooters get so much hate anyway. So I hope they find a way to make it interesting because extraction shooters are just, like they're just the rich man's gotchas, in my opinion. I mean, come on, you guys, that's a good one. That is really good. Extraction shooters, the rich man gotcha. You're just rolling it.
A lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there. Do we have enough time to talk about that?
Yeah, we actually do if you wish to. Or you can just leave it in the comments, let us know if that was a bad take or not, because you're extracting them items to get the same roll for things you want at a time for minimal stats. Just you live that dream.
You got to deal with asshats who want to troll you in the dark zone just because they can. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But speaking of random nonsense, and speaking of nonsense of that, we're going to a brand new nonsense, Ayaneo nonsense. They have done some real stupid stuff. I have nothing to know about this. This was brought to my attention by you guys, so let us know what this is about.
Anyway, so I think at one point in time, Scott was probably like that. Keith Mitchell's an asshole because I was always busting Ayaneo's chops. I know he likes the company to a certain extent. He likes some of their designs. See, and I've been saying, you know what? I've heard a lot of bad stuff about their stuff, a lot of bad stuff about their customer support, and I tried to look at them and go, you know what? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they did have that one device, Ayaneo Kun. Is that the right? Am I saying it correctly?
I think that's the right one.
And I know one person who has it and he loves it, but he said he's never had to contact the company for any kind of support. And at one point, I thought about getting it until I found it was close to $2,000 to buy the one that I wanted. So I was like, nah. All right. So a couple days ago, they came out saying that we were going to release a cheaper version of the Ayaneo Next called the Next Lite. And they came out saying, hey, it's going to have Steam OS and it's going to be cheap and you're going to love it. And then things started going downhill when myself and a couple other people reached out to the company and was like, so you're working with Valve with this, right? Because there's no way you're getting Steam OS on there. And then they sent out replies to one company, and then they sent me a reply later after saying, no, it's not actually Steam OS. It's a clone of Steam called Halo OS. And I'm like,
that's not Steam OS.
Like, isn't that already available right now? So
yes.
strike one, you're putting on a open source third party clone of Steam, and that means there is no support for this whatsoever. So if your thing goes downhill, sorry, Charlie. And then they didn't release the price. So I've been hitting them up every day asking them, hey, what's the price? What's the price? What's the price? And I thought it was going to be like a couple $1,000s because they posted something and they took it down real quick. So they didn't post the price on the website. They posted it like an hour after they were supposed to on a video showing the price, which was $299, up to $299, up to. And I was like, well, that's one of their cheapest devices I've ever seen from this company. Okay. And then they took it down. And I'm like, what's wrong with this troll? And I'm going through it before they took it down. And it says Steam OS on it still. I was like, did you just tell us it's not Steam OS? And you still have it in your trailer as Steam OS. So I'm guessing somebody was like, hey, you goofed up, change this. So they finally changed the trailer saying we're using Halo OS. Now, I wouldn't have been so upset about that had they not lied. But at the same time, I can buy any freaking handheld device and put Halo OS on it. I can put my Asus ROG Ally and put it on there. The only difference between the Halo OS and Steam OS is this one has been made to support a broader assortment of technologies. It won't work just on what was made for the Steam OS. It'll work for other things, which is why a lot of people like it. But it's not completely Steam OS. It does have its issues, but it's a very close clone of Steam OS. Okay, fast forward to that. You know, they told us about the parts. It has Halo, Halo effect joysticks and triggers, a nice size screen, a nice size battery. It's coming at $299. Okay, where's the bad side? Oh, so we're using severely outdated technology. Okay, here we go.
Oh no!
So we're going to give you either a Ryzen 5 4500U with a Radeon Vega 6, or a Ryzen 7 4800U with a Radeon Vega 8. And I'm like, Vega? You want somebody to game on that crap? The CPU will blows the doors off what's in the Steam Deck, yes, but the GPU is ancient. You can't game on that.
Might as well make it a mobile game tablet.
Yeah. So it's like, who's going to buy this for $300? Up to $300, mind you, up to $300. So it kind of
all the backers.
It kind of feels like they're like, we need to get rid of these old parts. What are we going to do? We're going to use the shell from the next Pro. We're going to put in an old GPU or the old SoC that we can't use anymore because nobody knows and nobody wants to use it because they know there's better out there, and sell it for a loss and see if we can get rid of it, which is a slap in the face to anybody who buys this. Because you could spend another $100 and buy a Steam Deck with official Steam OS support, a better CPU, not as better as a CPU than it is a GPU, and make out like a bandit for $399. Why this thing should not even exist? And I have issues when it comes to this damn company. I'm done.
That was fun. Oh God.
I was always a little more optimistic for Ayaneo, but I will admit that I've never really paid too much close attention. I've always heard that their biggest problem is they make too many products.
That too.
Too many products.
They're still Indiegogoing a bunch of other ones.
They still have a bunch of products that haven't been made. So
and people would pay for them. And people would pay for them.
It's basically like they do a lot of like Indiegogo products where they will get a lot of people to back it, then they'll make it, then they'll start selling it. And you basically like the cheapest you're going to get these devices are usually if you are a backer at Indiegogo. If you want to buy it after they're already made and produced and manufactured, they usually are very heavily overpriced.
Don't buy this, people. Don't buy this. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Just don't do it. Go buy a Steam Deck. If you really want to jump into PC gaming, get a freaking Steam Deck. Listen to last week's podcast. Get a Steam Deck. Ignore these fools and move on. Eventually they'll stop.
Listen to the last podcast of 2023. Then that's the one. Yeah, that's the episode referred to. But I'm more like, it's what I was saying before. It's like it's a gold mine, but people are going to be there running their the snake oil sales and stuff. And I'm afraid of it because I do unironically like the Steam Deck, and I don't think the Steam Deck is good, but it's not a substitute for PC gaming. You get a PC for that, but it's a good way to play like lower end some different PC games. Do what you're gonna do, but golly, like Jesus, people.
There's an article on the website, Matt. I'm not sure if you saw it. I wrote it a couple months ago, which was about me going to get one of my chiropractic sessions done. And before I went there, I went to the local bookstore to get something to drink. And I was there playing with my Steam Deck. This is before I got my ROG Ally. And a young man saw me playing it. And he was like, is that a Switch? And I was like, no, this is not a Switch. And I showed it to him and I let him play some games on it. And he was like, wow, that's really cool. I didn't know you could actually do PC gaming like this. So this is why I always recommend the Steam Deck to be the first jump in. I would obviously want people to get more power, but as much as I enjoy my ROG Ally, my biggest issue with it is that the screen is, I'm spoiled now. I want a bigger screen. It needs to be at least a 7.5 screen, 7.5 inch screen. It has to be. 7 inch is just too small. It got to be bigger. And
bigger or better.
There's where I hate her name, the Ayaneo Ku or the Lenovo Legion Go comes in because they're both 8-inch screens. For if God help me, the freaking PlayStation Portal has an 8-inch screen. Come on, we gotta have at least.
It is your first foray into anything, though.
Yeah. I talked to my barber. He was like, "So what about that PlayStation Portal?" I was like, "Don't buy that. If you got a PlayStation 5, you can't use it." He's like, "I thought that was
no streaming on that. Nope.
No,
absolutely
do that,
not. Nope. You don't got a chance.
Yeah, it's frustrating. They've really pissed me off.
Don't worry, man. The Ayaneo Mini 4K edition will fix everything up this time. Don't worry. This time we'll get it right.
Ah, man. I hope people people are still going to buy their stuff because either they don't know any better or they'll come out with something that's so good that it's worthwhile. Again, like the Coon, whatever, is a nice device. It's got a great CPU. It's got great GPU. It's actually superior to the ROG Ally. It's got an 8-inch screen. It's got a nice feel to it. It's not heavy, super heavy. It's perfect, but it's not $2,000 perfect.
No,
that's just not happening.
100%.
That's just craziness.
It is wild. And speaking of wild things, so we got Ubisoft doing something good.
Before we do that, real quick, Matt, because I know that's probably our last topic. I just wanted to pimp out something real quick. You saw the video on our YouTube channel. It's called it's an upcoming game called the Transylvania Adventure Simon Quest. This is basically a homage to the first 3 Castlevania games on the NES. It's coming out from a company called Retroware. We actually talked to them last year at PAX East. They're the one who did the Toxic. Was it What's it?
Toxic Avengers, yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Did that game come out yet? I did not follow that.
We played a demo, so we sort of. So we didn't play a demo. You saw the video. Wait, did we play the demo?
I didn't. I played it at PAX. That was it.
Yeah, I played their most recent game, Prison Breakout. It's like a homage. I forget. God, I'm forgetting all their titles because I'm half like, dang it, I know Retroware. I played their game like a month ago, a couple months ago.
But that's okay because I don't want to take too much time on this. But this, people put this on your radar. It's coming out in 2025. Again, if you enjoyed the first 3 Castlevanias on the NES, which is Castlevania 2, which is Simon's Quest, and Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, you're going to love this game. It is pretty much if you played Castlevania and then woke up a couple years later to play another Castlevania game, and this was it, you would know no different. It looks like a true 8-bit game. It looks like something Konami would have did in its great days. Keep this in mind. But again, it's only come out in 2025. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, Switch. They will be at PAX East, so I'm going to go talk to them about that. They actually have an arcade that's about 20 miles from me. That I asked them, can I come down to the arcade and talk to them about this game? So we'll have to wait and see about that.
Neat. And I ruined the game. It's Prison City. So yeah. But yeah, Retro, they make some cool stuff. I think that's good games. Check them out. Respect them. Put some respect on their name. Now we can get to talking about the real topic. Ubisoft. So they're doing something good now? They're a good company? What's going on?
Yes and no.
Can't believe they tried. All right, we tried.
So the first half of this story, I think, is a more helpful way to think of it. But so Ubisoft Plus is already like a subscription service that's already out. But they decided that they're going to combine their multi-access subscription with their PC subscription. Multi-access was basically just if you had a console, you could play it on any of your consoles that you owned. With PC access, you could play it on PC. They're going to be combining those subscription services to be just Ubisoft Plus Premium, which is going to have all multi-host as well as your PC titles. These are mainly just for the newer games. They have a whole different subscription service for their older ones called Ubisoft Plus Classic. That's already on everything else. You can already access that to everything else. So it's basically them just making their premium service now in the same regard as their classic service, which isn't a bad move. I mean, it's good to probably just put all your stuff into one if you basically can. The price change is pretty minimal. I think it's like $1 more, which is still a lot because subscription services are monthly. But the big issue that comes from this is one of the quotes when they were talking to one of the executives of Ubisoft about their change in it. I'm trying to find the exact quote here. This is the statement. He spoke to GameIndustry.biz about digital future and Ubisoft Plus's future specifically. He goes on to state that people eventually are going to get too comfortable with not owning their CD or DVD collections, and that a similar shift in attitude is going to happen in gaming.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Yeah, good luck with that one, buddy.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Sorry, bud.
So basically, he wants to turn Ubisoft Plus in a similar regard as to say like Spotify. Where you get to play as much of the games as you want as long as you have the subscription, but you have to remember that when you don't have that subscription, you no longer have the games. But he says that he wants them to understand that even if they don't have the games, they can still have the adventure of playing the game.
What?
The adventure? What the hell? What do you mean the adventure of playing the game?
What does that
mean? You didn't lose your progress on the game. You just lost the game.
You just lost the game.
In my opinion, I'd rather lose the progress of the game than I would lose the game.
That's just terrible.
This whole subscription service thing is getting out of hand. Ubisoft Plus was already something that many people didn't really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And now this, the only downside to this, well, there's a lot of downsides, but the only downside to Ubisoft Plus is the fact that they're putting a lot of their games, I think most of their games, on that platform. So great example is the recent Prince of Persia. It's not on Steam. It's on Epic Game Store or Ubisoft.
Yep.
That's it. That's highly frustrating for them to do this. And now they're basically saying, oh no, you don't worry about it. You don't need to own your game, which is already a heated conversation and has been for years. And for this guy to come out and blatantly say, "Hey, you don't need to own your game."
Yeah, but I can own you. But yeah, and it's paying subscriptions or whatever.
So you don't have to own my money. Just give me access to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know my. Yeah, you see. Yeah, the logic is pretty. Yeah, it's wild. What bothering me the most is that so you're telling me that the new Prince of Persia game that's got critical reviews. I don't know this. They just shot themselves in the foot by saying it's only on Epic Game Store, which is already good idea quotation mark, and Ubi Plus.
And then they're making changes to Ubi Plus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No Steam consoles.
No.
Wow, you just killed. Thanks for killing my favorite franchise, you idiots.
Well, I mean, it's on consoles, and you can get it on PlayStation if you want.
That's why we get the discs.
I guess I have to boot up my PS4, and all right, I have to spend some money again.
This is always the logic that comes from the C-suiters, the people that run companies into the ground or have no idea what it takes for a game to be successful. We just manage the company and make the dumb decisions and make people do this amazing work and then have people shit on it because we made these dumb decisions. It happens over and over and over.
It's unironically an issue that I feel like it's a disconnect between the reality into what they're trying to do as a business, and it happens too many times to go into. I can go in hours about how certain business strategies are just disconnected from how things work and complete, dog poop. But that's another topic for another time. But oh my, like I said, Prince of Persia is one of my favorite franchises. I'm a huge Prince of Persia mark. Prince of Persia was the one platformer I played on my computer when my dad didn't yell at me when I did finish my math homework. I promise that it's going to be completed. Just one more level.
I mean, so again, this comes from the guy, and I can't pronounce his name properly, Philip Tremblay, who is the director of subscriptions at Ubisoft. I've never heard of this. The director of subscriptions. He basically says we're doing this because we looked at the consumer behavior and how people were interacting with their games and saw this as an opportunity to screw people over. No, he says for us to evolve. We saw how gamers engage with our games, and they usually buy the full game after playing the demo. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, and now you want to take this out of the picture completely and go, you don't need to buy the game, just do subscriptions. Sir, you realize that what you just said completely defeats what you're doing. I don't understand that. They played the demo, they wanted to get the full game. Fantastic. Now, for you to get the full game, you just pay a subscription. Don't buy the game, just keep paying a subscription. Sir, but you just said that if they played the demo, they would buy the full game. But now you're stopping them from buying the full game by just charging them subscription.
Because they want forever income, man. They don't want like one-time purchases.
I understand that. I understand that, but it's like what you said isn't that doesn't make any sense.
Right. You like our product, you give us money forever. That's what they're saying.
But I can simply go, sir, your plan is flawed, and I'm not going to play your game anymore. Poof. I would rather you have played the demo, brought the full game, then me pissed you off, and then you know what? I'm done with you. Fantastic. But you still got the money instead of shooting yourself in the foot, thinking you're going to get endless revenue from me because I'm pissed off at you now.
No, it's a thing that I feel like this is again a little off tangent. One of the reasons why I'm not a fan of subscription models applied to everything, or particularly games, is that like you're trying to get forever money out of me for a transaction you don't want to do. Like you're not interested in selling me a new game at the buy from you. You're not interested in that interaction. You're taking it away from me. Back in the day, I bought a lot of stuff from people who were really good salesmen. That was a skill, regardless of how you feel about it. It's a skill. You're taking that away because it's like, well, they paid $10, regardless of making a game or not. It's guaranteed. That's how I feel about it, and I don't like it. I would prefer you actually make a product and then pitch it to me, where I could give you my hard-earned money to buy it. You know how you're supposed to. But nowadays, it's like, whatever.
I don't know about this plan. I think it's going to backfire on them, but they'll find out. They'll find out the hard way.
They'll find out. Yeah, they'll find out. Yeah. Can't wait. 6 months later on Steam, for $39.99. Can't wait for that.
It's a shame because that right there, what you just said is it's not stopping you from still going out and buying the full game. But in their brain, they're thinking that people are want to continue to pay us, $12.99 or $15 or whatever, instead of buying the full game. When smart people are going to go, well, let's see, you're going to charge me $15 a month, and I'm doing this for 3 months. I didn't pay you $45 when I could have bought the game on sale at GameStop or whatever for $30.
Yeah.
The only people you're hurting, yet again, are PC gamers. Wah, wah.
Yeah.
What the hell, guys?
Because it's such a bad idea of how to do stuff. I'm just disgusted. Can we just make a game and then sell it to market, and then people buy it, and then you get good feedback, and then you make a second game? Just standard 101. I'm not even going into game design theory. This is it. This is how it's supposed to work.
It's just sad that we have so many of these people who are overhead and make these big decisions, but they have no idea how it actually affects one domino to the next. And people don't often realize that a lot of people, especially PC gamers, they like having their libraries on one platform. There's a lot of reasons people don't like going to Epic Games or GOG or Ubisoft or even EA's version launcher. It's not just because they're different launchers, but it's also because most of their library is in one place, and they can just look at it and say, hey, I have this many games. Very few people want to open all these different launchers and count all these games. I have 70 games on this launcher. I got 12 on this one. I got 700 here.
And eventually something gets missed along the way, because I've done that plenty of times. I thought I had this game. Wait, I don't have this game on Steam. I have it on GOG. What? And I forget about it.
Yo, you double triple dip. Yeah, you double triple dip in the wrong places. Oh crap! Oh, I wasted $60. Whatever. It's you know what the sad part is? I have an old story to say this. So, as you guys know, I have a lot of cool T-shirts, and I like wearing my T-shirts. And sometimes I don't do and sometimes I do the laundry late, right? And I end up buying the same T-shirt twice. Did I buy this T-shirt? Yes, you did.
Do your laundry? Holy crap!
Sometimes I do my laundry towards the end of the month. I'm being serious. Yeah, I have a lot of clothes, man. I have a lot of clothes. So I do my laundry late, sometimes towards the end of the month, and I'm like, holy, what's going on here? And I'm like, I just bought the same shirt twice, the exact same shirt, the exact same size. Oh man, and that's what they want. They all want you to double dip 3-6 times to play the same Prince of Persia, the same, whatever game, because there's only 20 different platforms rather than just one platform that you paid for, and the game is sold there. You're not getting any additional money. It's Jover. Please stop.
Well, they're not getting money from me, so yeah.
No, that's for sure. I hope not.
It's a damn shame, because I wanted to play Prince of Persia.
I do too.
Really
I can still buy it from them, but the fact is, I kind of have I have principles. I don't know about this. I don't know.
Yeah, principles are very good to have. No, I mean that seriously. It's upsetting because it's I love Prince of Persia. I'm a huge Prince of Persia fan. I played almost every version I can remember. I still enjoy Prince of Persia 2006. So when they revamped the character, he had the red turban and everything. It was really fun. And it's just give me a good Prince of Persia game and I'll play it. Oh, you did a good job this time. Oh, here's the caveat. Subscription. All right, I'll see you guys. Never. It's Jover. It's time to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like I
said, have been a slam
it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how long this lasts.
Soon to be on Steam with a discount. But anyway, speaking of things that won't be a discount, you can support us fully by subscribing to our many social medias. Keith, take it away.
No, I'm sick. You take it away.
Now you're sick and dying. You want an entire rant about Ayaneo, your favorite company. This is why I'm firing you. I'm replacing you with Don Cheadle.
I used it all up in one burst. I should have held on to my meter. Sorry.
You know what? Yeah, I respect that. That's why Don Cheadle's taking your place next week. Anyway, be sure to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube, check out Spectator Mode on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other places podcasts are hosted. And be sure to follow us on our various social medias, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See ya.
I wanna take you for a ride.